very surprising.
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see all four of you. Oh, four of you.
I think we're talking about the people
First-person perspective.
inside the studio at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily those watching in, the masses who've come to gaze upon the multitude of MMO buffers that are here tonight.
I have to interrupt and say, Kai, what is it with us deciding to wear our hair the same today?
Yeah, we match it. Even same side.
I know. Okay.
We like to
I tried so hard to get my hair like that, Gazimoff. I just couldn't get it to sort of sit naturally. So in the end, I gave up.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is all just held on with Velcro and hope.
Yes, and it is confirmed. I do have voices in my head. One of them is a rubber ducky in the form of a cat. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, so.
Well, we have all of us here. We have a Mizpah, we have a Pseudo, we have a Kai, and we have a Gazimoff. And it's Friday. It's Cosmotronic. I guess we're starting with the news.
Oh, so much stuff got brought out. So much stuff. So can I make the awesome like little noise for you, Gazi?
Is there? Do I get sound effects? No. Do we? Are you sure we have the budget for sound effects? I mean,
I don't know. I've just demanded a raise.
Does that count?
Ooh.
I don't know. So, in terms of news, and there I am looking down at my news notes. The big news: beta competitions. So, do you want to play WildStar? I mean, we've played WildStar, and we're really enjoying it. And I'm sure that you've probably heard enough from us talking about it, and trusting about it, and sharing our love and enjoyment of the game for you to want to get in there and play it for yourself. So, there are three competitions in the on English-speaking sites, and there's a whole host of ones being held across Europe as well. All the details are on the main WildStar Online site, telling you where to go, who to register with, how to get keys, all that kind of stuff. So it's a chance for you to go out there, find other sites on the in the WildStar community, know them, love them, enjoy them, and bag yourself a beta key at the same time. Worth a go, isn't it? So,
And then we can all run around on Nexus.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah, I know that there's WildStar Core, WildStar Central, WildStar Fans from the English-speaking side of things, and then there's like a gazillion from the Spanish, the Italian, the French, the German communities, all piling in there to give some keys away as well. And I think in terms of a beta key giveaway, this is pretty much the best way I've ever seen a company say, we're doing beta key giveaways, because normally they go to places like MMORPG.com, Zam.com, and all the other big like MMO sites and give them keys and say, here you go, give keys away. But this time they've gone to the community sites instead, and I think that's fascinating. And I think it's a really, really neat move. What do you guys think?
Well, as community manager for MMOBuff, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. I love community, so anything they do to build the community is brilliant. What I think is exceptional in this case, we'll speak from a marketing perspective.
Easy for you to say?
Yeah, apparently it's really easy for me to say. But one of the things that is exceptional about this is they're going to the community sites on the same week that they drop guild information. So,
yes.
you mean, the concept is these sites, I mean, I will tell you point blank, I found the guild I'm in, Enigma, which is run by, that strange man over there. I found Enigma through WildStar Central. So the fact that they're giving beta keys to the people who are building the community, which is going to make the game an MMO, bang on. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like Gazzy said, normally they give them to these big sites which cover a lot of games, whereas the WildStar fan sites, the people who follow them and read the content are ones that love WildStar and will definitely give feedback to help the game going forward, rather than a player who just thinks, oh yeah, I get to play a game for free for a weekend or however long. So I definitely think it's very good to benefit the people who are supporting it and helping the game grow.
Yeah, it's more of a vested interest. The chances are there's better feedback. It's supporting the sites that have been there since, day one, minute one in many cases, working hard to raise the profile of the game. Well played, Carbine. Another example of really good communication. And now all we need is you guys to go out there and enter those competitions, win those fat beats, as I believe they're now called according to the channel,
Yes,
and get yourselves in there.
And what we also need for you to do, Kaeyi, is to quickly tap Martin, because apparently people would like to see him bomb us.
Martin, wave.
So
There we go.
there you are.
And as extra bonus content, Martin's back.
He's the DLC for MMOBuff.
He is. You're not supposed to reveal that yet. As community manager here,
damn.
PR person. Wrong, Pat. Stop being Gaffney. Okay, sorry. So
what else has emerged? We've got these lovely competitions, and of course they talked about guilds.
Yes, so there's been a whole pile of stuff that Carbine have recently announced just this week about guilds. And this covers a whole range of aspects. So in most MMOs, particularly older MMOs, you basically just join a guild and that's pretty much it. You don't get any kind of benefits from being there. It's recently started to emerge into some more recent ones where you start to get things like perks. You get a bit more of a social experience. You get something that binds people together more and makes guilds really useful rather than just providing them with a fancy chat channel and maybe a calendar for throwing out invites. With WildStar's particular guilds setup, they have some really nifty ideas for having guild emblems being shown. So you can have them on your shoulders or floating above your head. You can have guild currency, which is guild influence, which you can then use to spend on perks for your guild. So things like mobile banks and stuff, and other bits and pieces as well. And I think it's all, there's a huge amount in this article. They've got a lot of the prototype interfaces, which are currently in game, to really show off how the whole thing works. And it looks really, really detailed. They have a dedicated social team that works on systems like this. I think it's fantastic that they've now turned around and said, this is how it works in a fairly large amount of detail. So if you're interested in getting in a guild, it doesn't matter if you're looking to raid at endgame, just hang out and be sociable, or slaughter people like by the bucket loads in battlegrounds and PvP. I reckon that these will help you out. But what do you think?
Well, again, I'll jump in, and I'm going to ask Mizpah a question.
Guild question coming up, I
yes,
suspect.
Obviously. Good question. You're guild leader, and all you control are taxes. Be nice.
I love the power.
Of course you do, but my question to you involves, this is great news about guilds, and taxes can be, are something they discuss, but how do you think circles are going to impact guilds? And I want to have that kind of view from you.
There's two or three things coming together here at the same time. First of all guilds are different. They're structured differently. They have different aims. They have different objectives. And you should set yourselves up and your circles up based upon what you're actually trying to achieve. So circles, for those that don't know, is basically the ability to say, hey, here's a group, here's a subset of people, we'll join them together, we'll give them a channel, and we can do other stuff with this circle. So that's all good, cool stuff. For example, straight away, I'm going to have a circle of people that are our regular raiders. Hey, I need to talk to our regular raiders. I can go to that circle, I can type to that channel, I can, tell them, hey, why weren't you here on time, slap, or, oh, we've changed the time for this, and I don't need to bug everyone else about it at the same time. The ability, therefore, to take any group that you need, be it a group of crafters that are busy, stocking up the guild bank, be it whatever it might be, just really, really useful. And it shows that some thought has gone into the guilds and the social structures that are within them. There's a lot more there I could perhaps get into, but for now, let's just say that the ability to segment out groups, communicate with them in any particular given way. And yes, I'm sorry, actually, my hands get very excited because this game gets me very excited. All of a sudden, as a guildmaster, I have the tools available to me and to others in the guild to help run the guild effectively and efficiently and make everyone's lives easier. And actually, that includes the officers in the guild that often have to do a lot of work and running around, and those that have done that job know exactly what I'm talking about.
For anyone who
Don't
wants a
forget
we now
reference,
have
come to
some
the campfire.
tools.
Don't
As an
forget though that
example as
with
well. Oops, sorry.
no, you go ahead first.
As an example as well, there may be people, for example, all of us have been MMO veterans who played a lot of MMOs. We may have friends from previous games that aren't necessarily in our guild. We can always have a circle of just our friends who may not raid. They might be PvP people that we want to talk to on a regular basis, rather than in just whispers, and actually be able to contact them. And like you said, Mizpah, splitting that down into subsets, even from just raiders, you could just have all of the healers in the guild, all of the tanks, so that they can communicate to each other without having to bug everyone else as well. So it just means there's a lot more organization without having to flood everyone's chat, which I think's really
I'd say I'd throw out there that there is something to keep in mind here. At latest count, circles are limited for how many you can have, right?
Yeah.
So, the last thing you want to do, and this is something I think a lot of guilds are going to have to make a decision on, is figuring out how much control you want of other people's circles. Because technically speaking, if you're in a guild, you're in a guild. Congratulations. Yeah. You should be able to do everything there. Your circle shouldn't necessarily have to be broken down into what is necessary for the guild, but there might be some guilds that have that requirement. It depends on their culture, depends on everything else. And again, I just have to join the campfire Tuesday nights. We discuss all communities.
I think, as far as I'm aware, guilds and circles are character bound, if I'm right. Yeah. As far as I'm aware, they are character bound. So people could, like you said, it would depend on what that. But I think with a raiding character, I think most people tend to have like a raiding character, then all of their ults that they do other things on. So your raiding character could kind of have all of these kind of raid-related circles and all the important stuff, and your other one could have all of your like fun friend circles, I guess.
Yeah, I'm in a kind of similar feel myself. I think that if I joined a raiding guild and they said, right, fantastic, welcome to this raiding guild, you have to join these 5 circles as well, I go, hang on a minute, I've got social mates that I want to hang out with in some of these. So I think trying to snatch all 5 might be a bit of an imposition.
Is it 5?
And we'll need to juggle it, because I mean Enigma are very likely to have some requirements on, if you're a healer, can you please be in the healer channel? If you're a raider, can you be in the raider one?
Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in a circle though, because you can still have channels that are not in circle.
You can, but there are things with circles that are benefits. So we probably will in Enigma go, hey, we can steal some of your circles, but we've got a culture that will let us do that.
A raiding circle and then a kind of roller circle, then people will only ever be in 2, and I think that's all right.
Yeah. So basically, you've just suggested that you want to be an officer in Enigma, right, Kai?
No. I've ran too many guilds and I've had all the drama. I'm so happy just to like flex, sit back, focus on killing and getting loots and crafting and helping people out. I just want to do the fun stuff, none of the drama.
Kai just wants all the fat loots. We know.
Yeah, all the fat loots and beats. That's what I want.
You mean? Go, Gazzy.
I was going to say I'm exactly the same. I've done the whole high-end raiding thing, and the officering thing, and the guild running thing, guild leadership thing. Never again. I'm going to hang back. I'm probably still going to raid, but I'm going to hang back. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to scoop up all the epics. Are they going to be called epics? Do we know that?
I don't know.
To be honest, it sort of seems to be cross game.
It doesn't. That doesn't really fall into any particular bracket. That particular one, does it?
Any high-end loot is epic, but yeah, I definitely want to raid. Like, as you guys in Enigma know, like I'm gonna race to end game. Like I want to be one of the first people on the server at max level. Like that's what I love doing. But I definitely do guild drama. Not that we have any in Enigma, but I haven't seen any. But, yeah, it's too much now. That's why I don't like. I'm not on the campfire.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually that is a completely different discussion. I was going to say let's go back to taxes.
Yeah, let's go back to taxes. Not death and taxes, just taxes. For me, fantastic tool. The amount of admin that we have to spend as a guild running around going, okay, how are we going to stock up the guild bank? You always get the people that say, hey, I've got spare cash, I'll throw it in the guild bank. And you get the same few doing a lot of work. And I like the fact that we can set a quick automated way of saying, hey, when you go out and kill lops by the thousands and start gaining treasures and rewards off the back of it, Oh, sorry, chewers by the 1,000.
Hey!
Thank you. We do not kill
Just
lots.
Best. Who would kill a
then a
lot?
percentage of that can go into the guild
Apparently
bank.
Mizpah.
And that's really cool, because it does mean that then, let's say there's a heavy raid night, some repair bills can be paid for. Let's say that we want to buy something off the auction house to help kit someone out, there's some funds in the guild bank to do it, and it just takes away the admin. But I know some people go, oh, hey, nasty, scary guild, taking all my monies. Well, if you don't trust the guild you're in,
Yeah.
why are you in the guild? Is that just me? What do others think?
You're just going to turn this straight into a campfire episode. You realize that, right? Because
I think as long as, I mean,
It
if
just-
taxes are enabled and as long as there's a valid reason, like something like you're a raiding guild, people are then able to have, as long as we're earning enough money. I mean, essentially 40 people, getting 5% of 40 people is going to equate to quite a lot, and that will cover repairing costs, which is a pretty big thing for raiders.
Mhm.
But I think if some guilds may enable taxes and then not give anyone a benefit, like a casual guild, and that's where I think people just need to be aware of what these taxes are. And again, it's economics. It's like just like real life. You need to know what you're signing yourself up for, and it actually does pop up when you join a guild and says, which I'm allowed to talk about. It's so weird. It's so weird being able to say things. Actually, will like pop up and say like taxes enabled. So many people have seen that on my stream, and my multitude of alts join Enigma. Invite me. But yeah.
yes, we
strangely
tax.
enough-
But go ahead,
strangely enough,
Gazzy.
Strangely enough, I have not actually joined a guild in the WildStar beta. I have been playing on my own.
I'm not surprised by this. You're a chewer.
You're a chewer.
Someone did decide to be a chewer.
Actually, I tell you what, I am going to found a faction which is going to be chewer-based, which will give you reputation if you slaughter lop. Bring me lop ears, and I will give you reputation with the gas.
You heard it here first.
You are so vile. Hurts.
I'm going to stop and pull some random stuff out of the chat, because I see some really good stuff going past. A couple of people have talked about taxes and cred, which poses an interesting thing. You know, the ability to help someone out with cred off the back of taxes. There need to be a rationale so people don't take advantage of it. There was something else I just saw that caught my eye. Competitions the DIST has thrown out could be funded by guild taxes.
Yeah.
That is a fun thing to do, especially if you have like. We had in one of the guilds that I had a scavenger hunt. You know, they just found a random NPC, and they said they'd give clues, and if you got there, you got money, etc. But you could also do competitions like PvP competitions, duels. You could set up your own entire system in WildStar with the way they have things set up that you could actually really compete for lack of a better term, compete for prizes. It's interesting to me because when you're talking about credmiz, you're discussing something that, there has been discussions about how you're actually going to get cred, how you're going to give cred, what you can actually do with the cred that you've purchased. I mean, yeah, you can kind of use it to fuel yourself, but there's a certain place that you can sell it. And one of the things we did talk about, and I don't know if this has been clarified, is, if I want to be able to give cred as a prize to somebody in my guild or help somebody out, can I? Or do I need to buy the cred and give the cred to them? I mean, there was not there's still some
So
sketchiness there.
There is an
into
issue.
levels.
There is an issue with cred. So if you have a cred is worth cash. It's worth about $15. It'll be worth 10 quid, 10 of Her Majesty's finest pounds, or any deviation in your local currency. So the issue is, if you've got something in your inventory which is worth money, I mean real money, not pseudo money, but real, no offense.
High money.
Money you can use to buy jelly beans.
Yes, so,
This is Gazimoff trolls Pseudo again.
so if you have something that's worth real money and you can send that to someone else, then you've got a real problem on your hands, because if someone hacks your account and goes and raids your stash of creds, then you've suddenly lost a fair chunk of change, and that could be quite substantially, particularly if you're like Anres and you've been playing the auction house like anything, and you've built up this huge stack of cred that you're sitting on and you'll never have to pay for your subscription again. Then someone hacks your account, suddenly that could be $200-300 worth of cred just gone mailed to some gold farm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the issue is that yes, you want to be able to give them away as prizes or help friends out when they're feeling a bit short of cash, but it's probably going to be a case of you'll have to send them the gold or what have you so they can then buy it, because sending something like that's worth that money to someone else would be a real red flag in terms of account security, at least in my opinion. So what do you think, Miz?
Other games, some in the channel just pointing out, other games have had to face this issue. They do some in different ways. Some turn around and say this stuff is tradable. Some turn around and say it isn't. Some have out-of-game mechanics that back that up. Eve, of course, is the forerunner that's handled this particularly well. And we'll have to see exactly how some of the mechanics pan out. There's still a couple of question marks, but it is a valid issue. There's probably some legislation issues involving across EU member states as well. It will get really boring and technical because of transfer of something with value, and all of these things come into play. Whatever they allow to happen has to be controlled. I'm with your point. I'd love it as a guild to be able to go, hey, you've been awesome, Fred. Have one of these. Whether or not we get that level of flexibility and freedom, we'll have to wait and see.
It may just be as simple as, you've been collecting taxes, etc. in the guild, and you want someone to be able to have cred. They can buy it with gold. Give them the gold from your guild bank.
I guess, that's an option, is to give people the gold and then they just buy it themselves.
Maybe that might be a way to do it. So at that point in time, it becomes internally policed.
Maybe they'll do something like, this is, again, it's just like theory, but maybe they'll have something like you can only actually have only one cred on your account at one time, because that'll pay for the next month's subscription. And then obviously if you want to buy another one, you buy another one. So then you've not got this big stack of cred, but you've got the gold ready to buy them. But then you'll have like economizers being like, well, it's really low at the moment. Why can't I buy all my creds at this really low price rather than when it is higher? So it's very tricky. I wonder how they are going to do it. But there are so many arguments that people will give.
Yep.
I completely agree.
Let's jump into something else then before we get too far into economic theory 101. Much as I could, but other people might get bored. Gazimoff.
So there is one other thing that's been going on this week, and that is that it has been a little bit streamerific. I think all four of us pretty much have been streaming WildStar.
Not me!
Not you. So everyone apart from Pseudo has been
busy moving, but I will be.
Okay.
Try again.
So some people have been gloriously streaming WildStar. I know that KaeyiDream has. I believe that Ico, who's been writing for MMOBuff, he's done some articles recently, has been streaming as well.
WildStar.
And yes, and I have actually managed to get some time streaming as well. It's probably going to be the last stream that I do, though, before I replace my graphics card, because it is dying a death.
Oh, go on!
You just
go
had
on.
to show this
you
off.
had to do this
all day.
Gazimoff has decided to sponsor a competition. He's got a prize he's going to be giving away.
You lie! You lie!
I do lie. That is strictly untrue, but the look on his face was priceless. What's in the box next to you, Gazimoff?
So
Yes,
I
go
have
on.
gone out and I have picked up one of these.
Ooh.
It is shiny.
And after the show, I will be installing it and giving it a thorough thrashing. And I want to see what the frame rates are going to be like, because currently with the GTX 480 in my Core i5 2500K, I get about 30, 40 frames a second, give or take, depending on where I am and how densely populated things are and stuff like that. With this new card, I'm wondering what things are going to be like, whether I'm going to be able to really see double frame rates or stuff like that, because you also pay a bit of a streaming tax as well, because your processor is being used to run OBS or XSplit or whatever you use. So we're going to see, will I get more performance out of it? Hope so, after spending that much money on it.
Well, I have two 7970s in my PC, and like Martin, he was streaming with me, and his graphics card's like a 560 Ti, I think. He has two of those, and the difference is massive. Like, you really can tell from like quite an old graphics card to one now. So yeah, it should be a lot smoother. I mean, it might not show frames like a massive lot higher. Like you might be like, oh, it doesn't seem much, but you'll just see it's a lot smoother, even if the frames aren't saying it is. For sure.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I shall look forward to finding out soon.
So, while Gazimoff is off pondering the increase in his frame rates, what else are we going to get to look at in all those lovely frames? We talked about a few more things. Let's pick another one at random out of the huge guild drop. An obvious one. This one, let's talk about ranks. So we have the subset of ranks that we can do stuff with and that we can rename, and you know, it's there and it's in a lot of games, but it's really pretty useful. So not only that, obviously thoughts on that, but here's one for you. To each person here, what is the strangest guild rank you have ever seen, and what would the most apt guild rank name be that you could think of for a WildStar guild?
I have to jump in here because when I ran my guild, the big one, we had incredibly awesome names, and two stick out. Well, I don't know if I can give my rank. No, screw it. We had three really strange guild ones. We had the Angry Beavers, the Toasted Puppies, and these were rating ranks, might I add. And then the guild rank that everyone gave to me was Viagra for tanks, because I was a healer and it's my job to keep the tanks up. So
That's really funny.
there are your ranks from my guild.
This is now an R-rated show, ladies and gentlemen.
That's really funny. That's clever.
But yes, go ahead.
Sponsored by PETA. Kaeyi.
The weirdest. We used to just have like just kind of semi-insulting names for people that we would just change on a weekly basis. So if like someone was like being really annoying or like a drama llama that week, we'd just like name them something and just like demote them to that rank for like an entire week. But for a WildStar rank, I don't know. I'm rubbish at this stuff. I'm like not very creative at all.
Right. While Gazimoff's answering, then to the channel, what are the best names we can come up with for WildStar ranks? But meanwhile, Gazimoff.
So I would say, I don't know, you could do one of two ways. You could either say, okay, we'll start off with like, I don't know, what are the phases that stars go through? You could call them nebula, then you could call them like
Pulsar,
protostar,
Red
pulsar,
Dwarf,
stuff like
White
that.
Dwarf.
Red Dwarf. And then black hole for the ones that have not been online for ages and they've just collapsed into this thing.
I think there needs to be a rank for Gazi called Pond Life.
Now that's going back to an old conversation.
Someone brought it up. Someone keeps bringing up Pond Life. Your term is catching on, Gazi.
Let's see what else we've got in the chat.
Rousdower herder.
Chew a potion tester. I like
Rose,
that one.
Rousdower Herder should be the name for an officer or a GM in a guild. I like that one. Chew a potion tester. Is that what we give recruits?
Trialists. Yeah, recruits, trialists, yeah.
I really like that
test
one.
Subjects.
Or an
ear
tickler.
Okay. I'm going to have to come back on that one. Who would need to be an Orin ear tickler and why? And Anrez, explain yourself.
Yes, please.
I like the
guild bank looker after her.
I like the suggestion of the idea of peasants. That actually, if you're running a Cassian guild, you could have like nobility, peasants, and lord.
I would love to see ex-Protostar employee.
I don't know what you're talking about. Mizpah is the Protostar
Yes.
employee.
Now here, I'm going to jump in real quick while we're waiting for people to give us ideas. We have had a question come in from our community, and now I think is the perfect time to throw it. We know that I identify with Lops. I love the Lops. I am Lopzilla. Hear me hop, I guess. We know that Gazimoff is our gorgeous resident Chua, the violent vixen that he is. Vixen?
Vixen?
Hamster that he is.
I'm wondering where you were going there.
I was trying to go towards hamster, but it didn't come out. Kaeyi, which race do you most identify with?
Orin.
Okay. Mizpah?
Apparently, I am now a Protostar.
Employee. Yes. Yes, you are.
You do realize
Is that
what this
even a
means.
specific... They have their own race, don't they?
It means I'm cloned, I do believe.
You are a clone of Chad Moore.
but that's okay because only the more
'Cause don't all
efficient
the pro-
ones survived.
All the Protostar guys look like Chad Moore to me. You know what I mean?
I think you have a point.
You know, I have
Although
to
the last
point
time I
out,
saw Chad, he wasn't
Baldy.
that green.
still, Team Pappy. Just saying.
Team Frost.
So
Yay.
this means that at Gamescom 2014, we are going to have to get a thing of green Snazaroo face paint and a swim cap for
We'll
Mizpah.
paint up Pappy.
Okay, then, so here's
We're not
here's what
painting
we're
up
gonna do.
Mizpah, we're painting
Oh.
Pappy.
Okay. No, we're gonna see how much people want me to walk around at Gamescom in green face paint or Snazaroo or whatever it's called. So we are currently at 2,800 and something likes on our Facebook page. If by the end of this show we are at 3,000 likes on the Facebook page, I will do a day at Gamescom dressed up like a protestar.
Oh, come on,
It is
folks.
in your
Facebook.com/MMOBuff.
So I
Go
have 33,000
like-
Only going
Twitter
to
followers.
happen
Let's see how many.
if we go above 3,000 before the end of the show.
Oh, come on, folks. Get that out there. All right. I'm going to take this brief moment and let both Kai and Gazimoff send out to the Twitter sphere. Go forth. Get Mizpah into a Protostar employee. And I'm going to ask you, Mizpah, because you never answered the
Yes.
question. Can you please let us know what you think is the most random guild rank name you have ever heard? And can you pick one for Nexus?
Ooh, okay, random ranks. In Enigma we have a rank that we used to change the title of. That was the joke. It was often referred to as the Lemming rank. In fact, the first time this arrived, someone got the Lemming rank by repeatedly running off a cliff, and no, it wasn't me. But what we used to do was change the name of a rank all the time, and I can't think of a standout one because we had so many of them. But as to ranks in game, I think it depends on where you are. If you're Exiles or whether you're Dominion, that will change. The Cassian one's got an obvious theme. Gazimoff has said that one. Exiles, you could kind of just do. I'd actually have a bit of a joke. I'd do Firefly ranks. I do ranks based on things taken from Firefly, I think, and attribute them to Exiles.
Okay, pick one.
There you go.
Pick a rank name.
I'm going to struggle to think of any on the spot. I'd have to go through and look at all the ship names, and I'd grade them in ships from the smallest to the largest from that series. Slightly obscure. We shall see.
Okay, so just sending out, if we get 3,000 likes on Facebook.com/MMOBuff by the end of the show, Mizpah Enigma will cosplay Protostar at Gamescom this year. Spread the word.
We shall see what happens. What more have we got out there? Holomarks. Holomarks haven't really been touched on a lot.
Yeah.
I mentioned them.
You mentioned them. Elaborate, dear Gaz.
You only mentioned. Now we want you to, I was about to say exfoliate.
Guys, please exfoliate.
Live on stream. Gazimoff exfoliating.
Apparently, Pseudo's brain has fried to the point where she can't remember words, and I am sorry, and I'm just going to hide behind a lot for the rest of the episode.
What rating does the channel have to be for Gazimoff to exfoliate live on stream? It's definitely M for mature.
You couldn't pay me enough.
I can't believe I said that. I meant to say explain, extrapolate, etc., and instead I just yeah. So yes, please elaborate.
Pseudo's conscious thought has hit the ejector seat.
Bye-bye.
It can now be found descending by parachute over the skies of Dagenham.
Why Dagenham?
Why not?
I knew he was going to say that. Just makes it easier for him to shoot me from afar.
So, from what I understand, and I will hand over to Mizpah shortly because he is Mr. Must Create Guilds kind of thing. And I looked at it and I thought, well, I'm not in the guild. All this looks like nice and pretty, but yeah.
You sound Cassian all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, am I not allowed to sound Cassian? Do you eject? Eject? Eject?
It's not
Now
just
your
me.
line's joined her.
Currently there is a second parachute seen descending over the skies of Dagenham. If any of our viewers are in Dagenham, please let us know if you find said objects and return them.
Yeah,
The
my
address is
parachute
MMOBuff.
looks cooler though.
Oh man.
So I've lost my show notes now. This is all your fault.
They're currently attached to a parachute drifting down over Dagenham. We've established this fact.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Kai, rescue the show with some sane comments.
Okay, so holomarks.
There you go.
That's what we're talking about. So basically, a holomark is kind of a space way of having a sort of tabard on your character. In WoW, as an example, or Guild Wars originally, you would wear like a cape or a tabard, and it would have your guild emblem on it. And you could choose to either wear it or not wear it, and it would show your allegiance. But WildStar actually have these holomarks, which are essentially like a projection of your guild logo that your guild leader has created. And you can wear it either on hovering over each of your shoulders or behind you, and you can select whether they're high or low or close and things like that. And you can decide either to show them all at once, so you have like this bubble of guild logo around you, or you can decide to just have one or two of them. And it's just a way that you can have that. And I think it's pretty cool, although I probably would never have it on, just because that kind of thing would mess with my fancy gear that I've got from epic loot raids.
I think it
there
depends.
could actually be a reason to have it on as well, though.
I think it really depends on what your guild leader has selected for the actual, thing. I mean, if you're running around as with fish, what you're thinking? Just wondering.
If it's a cool one, then maybe I would have it on my back.
Exactly.
But I definitely wouldn't have all of them. But I do think it's really cool, and especially if, say, for example, we were doing war plots or just a guild versus guild open world PvP session with, I don't know, Afterlife Legion. We could all have like its own. We could all have our holographs like projected, and I think that would look cool to see like what guild everyone is in. There are definitely uses, but for every day, I probably won't have it on. But there's like a variety. I think they said there's over like 4,000 or something different combinations of guild holomarks or logos that you can create. There's a lot, so there will be quite a variety, I think.
I agree. You just need to have a guild leader not pick fish.
A fish.
Or pink.
Hey, I agree with Marsh here. For those who don't know, Marsh is one of our co-hosts for Top Draw, but Marsh wants pink pandas on his shoulders, and I like this concept. So yes, Marsh, you got
pandas.
my shoulder plaid. My shoulder plaids.
You need to try
my
and
shoulder
replicate.
pads a plus 15 panda.
You have to try and make the Enigma logo somehow.
That would be. Well, we've currently got something like 4,225 possible combinations, according to the yellow text. Not my mathematical skills. Whether or not that will translate into the Enigma logo, I really couldn't tell you without some further playing around. But there are times when you want to wear that guild badge, and going, I'm in this guild, to me is great. Particularly in a scenario where if you're in a certain guild, maybe you don't get attacked. We've had that one in the past, and that's been a very good thing. But representing your guild leads into something else. You represent your guild, you fly your guild flag via the hologram, and you do things with your guild with a bit of luck. Because if all it is a nameplate, it's pretty pointless. Not much point in being there. But they've now got this great system whereby for doing things with your guild, you get rewarded.
Yeah.
Guild influence. Pseudo. Tell me about guild influence.
Oh, guild influence is awesome because it's the stuff. It's basically your currency for the guild. The more you do, the more you gain. The more you gain, the more you can unlock. That's pretty much all it is. The benefit, though, to me, is simply the fact that it's not gold. It's a completely separate currency, which allows for a delineation and a separation, because someone may not necessarily go out and farm and make lots and lots of gold for the guild bank through taxes, but by hanging out with the people that they're hanging out with, they're still contributing to the guild, and that is just such a fun thing for somebody who's community oriented. And unfortunately for people like Gazzy, they'll just have to do without because they're so anti-guild.
I'm not anti-guild. This
You're
is
a
the
lone
thing.
wolf.
I am just
If
selective
you're a
about.
chewer, aren't you anti everything that's not another chewer?
No,
And in
no,
fact, I
you're
think
probably,
you're probably anti other
anti-chew.
chewers as well.
Yep.
Not necessarily. So the reason I'm not in a guild at the moment is because most of the time when I'm playing WildStar, I'm playing the game. I'm not standing around going, I want to find a guild, please, will someone invite me to their guild? I'm actually out there questing, doing stuff, having fun.
It's more fun with people, though.
Well, yes, but there's chat channels, right? Right. Anyway, so I will probably find a guild, and I will probably hassle some people afterwards who are on the
Join
Dominion
Enigma,
side.
convert to the good side.
Just
Good
don't be a
side,
chewer.
you don't have chewer. No, I'm not going
That's
in
what
with
makes Exiles amazing.
it.
Yeah.
We don't have
No.
Chua, and we can kill Chua and bathe in their blood with smiles. Because we're doing
No.
the world of
Nothing
Nexus
crazy.
a better place.
They put
You're
her in
painting a
charge
very
of the
interesting
community.
picture of Enigma here. We run around. We do the Egyptian bath thing with chewer blood, apparently. All the while wearing pink fish on our lapels. Hey, come join Enigma. Is that an advert?
So
Something like that?
I'm probably going to try and
Recruitment is
find a.
closed.
I'm probably going to try and find a Dominion guild at some stage when I have 5 minutes to do do this
We'll
thing.
vet them for you. We'll make sure they look after you.
Yeah, draw me up a short list or something. So
That tends to be.
Well, it's got
a
chewer
very
in. It'll
big
be a very
problem.
short list.
Oh, even
Hold on.
I got.
So but I think guild influence is a nice, really cool idea because again, it encourages people to play together, and it's like having the renown system. It's like having open tagging. It's like having all of these other bits and pieces. The systems are deliberately designed so that people feel that they want to play together rather than being in competition with each other.
Yeah.
And I think as a fundamental principle, that makes WildStar pretty superior to a lot of other MMOs that have gone down the no, you are competing with everyone for everything, single thing you could possibly want. And when they try and clutch the social thing, it's like, but I hate people that tag my mobs. Why do I want to guild with them? You see what I mean? So I think it's going to be really cool. And I think it moves really nicely into what you can buy with Influence, which is all of those lovely guild perks. So back to you, Mizpah, for guild perks.
So, yes, guild perks. The ability to say, hey, if the guild plays together, it does stuff well together, it earns this currency, and this currency allows you to do stuff that benefits the guild yet more. Those of us that have run out in other games, I'm sure you've been in a dungeon and gone, but Bob forgot to repair. Do we all want to wait whilst Bob now flies to the other side of the world,
Because Bob had to be
Knocks-
Mizpah.
knocks
Can't you
on the
just-
door of
Can't
the...
you just vaporize Bob and haul in the replacement?
Well, vaporizing Bob has been known in the
The
past.
Chua solution
Usually
to
on a second
everything.
offence.
Vaporization.
So poor Bob has to, disappear off out of the dungeon, go and knock on the door of ye oldie repairy armor shop, discover that it's 3 o'clock in the morning and the armor repair person is currently in bed and has to be woken up and is in a grumpy mood and takes a long time to repair the armor. And then by the time they get back to the dungeon, well, everyone's gone to sleep and is bored. So, hey, tell you what, we've got this thing that we can pull out, which allows Bob to repair there and then. But how do you get them? Well, one way of getting them is it's a perk. Hey, we've got this guild perk. Hopefully Bob didn't forget, but we're halfway through the night. We've been flattened lots of times by stuff, and we all need to repair. So we'll pull out our magic repair thing, and we all get repaired. Happy days. One example, it's a quality of life improvement that everyone in the guild benefits from if you've done the work to be able to get them. And there's a lot of those. We've seen examples in other games. There's more examples in here. But it promotes people playing well and achieving things together. It all kind of meshes. And if it makes a stronger guild, it makes a stronger community. If we get a stronger community, we get a stronger game. And that can be no bad thing whatsoever. That is my stance. Anyone care to contend that or throw anything else into the mix?
I prefer vaporization. At least they won't do it again.
Well, you can agree with that. I want to throw out there that I want Carbine and WildStar to be careful with what they have available perk-wise. I say this because, when you have a game where, I'm just going to throw back into WoW, you only got certain perks if your guild was a certain level, et cetera, and some of those perks, in my opinion, weren't necessarily quality of life so much as, you know, there are reasons why people got really annoyed with, join us, we're a level 25 guild, we need all the people we can get because we're only 23.5, and if you can join us now, that'll be great. I want them to just be careful about what they have and what they've included. I mean, I don't believe that they've revealed all, and I'm still sure things are in the tweak mix. I mean, we're still in beta. There's things are going to change and things are modifying. I just want them to make certain that the perks they do are community inspired perks. And I don't want them to make it the kind of thing where everyone rushes out and, you know, we have this perk because we're awesome and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And
there is a tricky balance here, because after Bob got removed from the guild for forgetting to repair 17 too many times, he went and started his own guild. That was the other Bob. So the second Bob goes and starts his own guild. We're a year into the game, and he starts his level 1 guild, and no one wants to join it because every other guild is a level umpity flip, or whatever it might be. So you have to find this balance between coming up with tangible rewards that let us go, hey, we did stuff, we've achieved stuff, look, we've got quality of life because of it. Yeah. But at the same time, not be, hey, I can't make a guild because no one will join me because we haven't got the holographs of awesomeness or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So there is some, it's a difficult balance because those two things are almost diametrically opposed.
Yeah. Does not mean in any way, shape, or form that I would like to be stuck in making that decision.
Nope, it is not easy, and that's why not everyone, despite thoughts to the contrary, is a game developer. There are good reasons why some people aren't, and that probably includes all of us. I think, are we on to that point where we ask for questions, Pseudo?
Yes, we are at that point where I get to pop on my community manager hat and be all community manager-y. Hey, you people!
Okay, guys.
Out in the channel!
More importantly, have I escaped Green Snazaroo?
I can't tell because Facebook is not loading for me.
It's looking dangerous, Miz.
What are we at? Come on, folks, you've got like 10 minutes.
2,900 at the moment.
Come on, people. Get us over 3,000 so I can turn Mizpah into a green giant.
We need 100 more likes on the Facebook page.
Come on,
If you can
folks.
stall the end of the show, I can create 100 fake Facebook accounts quickly.
Let me take care of that.
Doesn't care.
I can install the show because there's many things to go over, but community manager here, and now I say, hey, you peeps in the channel. Yes, you. As you heard earlier, we actually had a question come in from one of our community, and this seems to become a recurring thing. We want your questions. We want your questions about WildStar. We want your questions about us. Yeah, you basically have the ability to be all over the place question-wise with us. In fact, if you have any questions you want us to tackle now and you think we can get into it into the show, chat room. Right there. Or there, depending upon what method you're watching it in. Anyway, get your questions into us. And if you want us to answer questions in future shows, go to MMOBuff.TV/contact and literally fill out the form. You can also click contact in the upper right of our website as well. But the more people we get liked, the more people we turn, or who can help us turn Mizpah into a green Proto-Star employee.
Yay! I'll dress up as an Orin.
I guess I'll dress up as a lop.
And Gazimoff will have to dress up as a chewer.
A very big chewer.
No. No, that's what we'll do. We'll make this like Kickstarter. We'll tier the content. 3,000 likes gets Mizpah into, the Proto-Star outfit. Then we'll put me into a lop. We'll put Gazi into a chewer. And then we'll make Kai into an Orin if we get 10,000 likes.
Before Gamescom.
Before Gamescom.
No, by the end of the show.
Yeah. I was going to say, unfortunately, Gaz is probably going to be dressed up as a member of the press running around Gamescom like a madman.
I don't need to pick my day carefully or have to do a very unusual interview.
Yes, you will.
I hope they want to have a booth there.
I would have to set up
at the booth.
I would have to hope to set up Carbine interviews on that day, I think.
And you have to do the interview in the Proto-Star employee voice.
Why, hello, friends. No. Where are we at? What other stuff have we got coming up on MMO Buff? We've touched on Guild. We've had a great bit of fun with Cosmotronic. I'm sure there's some questions we might pull out of the channel while I continue to talk very, very quickly for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Slow down.
But, it's not as much fun.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I'll slow down. We have stuff coming up. Monday, we have the main MMO Buff show, the one where we get all techie and designy and talk about new stuff that's happening. And something very awesome has happened. We have Brad McQuaid and Salim Grant on the show. Salim Grant on the show. We've just recorded that interview today. They were great fun. There's some really fascinating content out there for those of you who've been following Pantheon and that current Kickstarter. So
Rise of the Fallen.
it's a long way off. It's 2017, but go take a look at it. Tuesday, what's happening on Campfire, Pseudo?
Well, on Tuesday, we have the potential, if we can convince somebody named Danu from VOTF, you may or may not know him, I'm just saying, to join us as our guest on the Campfire, as we will be tackling yet another topic. I'm not picking our topic right now because I am curious if people want us to discuss something in particular. Last week, we had Vistom from Ladies of the Round Table on, and we were talking about recruitment. I am curious if people want to have something. We've had some great campfire stories from Stout Pint. Keep up the good work there. But yes, get in touch with us so that we know. But yes, my fingers are crossed for Anu. After that, I'm just going to tell you the Campfire seems to be booking up really quick with guests. And when I say guests, I don't just mean guild leaders and community managers. I mean community managers. So we have some people from gaming companies who are community managers who will be joining us as well. But I can't reveal much about them. Some you will, some of you won't. It depends on what games you play. But you guys here in particular for Cosmotronic might.
Wednesday is another day of the week. What's happening on Wednesday?
Oh, good grief. Yes, I just realized I should probably do this. On Wednesday, we have reinstituted our game show for online trading card games. And Marshmallow, a Magic the Gathering World Champion, is our resident...
He's a bit good.
He's scary good, but what we discovered last week was that we need to make certain that all online TCGs are pseudo-proof.
Not possible.
No.
Not possible at all.
Not a chance.
Not in the slightest.
How do you make something pseudo-proof?
You'll have to
Answers on
watch
a postcard,
Top Draw
please, to the
last
usual address.
episode.
I know the answer to this one. You make something pseudo-proof by making sure it will never run at all, ever.
That can work.
You are so mean! Oh.
Thursday, you get a break. You don't have any MMO Buff content, but there might be some streaming on the MMO Buff channel. Keep your eyes open. Something interesting may be happening. Friday, then we're back to Cosmotronic. That is our week in wrap. But Kai, what have you got happening in the next week?
I have my friend Sachi coming to the flat tomorrow, and I'm going to be starting to build my first cosplay ever.
Ooh.
It's very exciting. I'm going to be making some videos on the Geek and Sundry vlog channels with her.
What are you going to be making?
I am making a Mafia Jinx cosplay. She's a League of Legends character, so her skin, which will be good. And I'm going to take it in May to MCM Comic Con. So it'll be my first con ever cosplaying and first cosplay I'm ever making. So pretty exciting.
That's a good con to do it at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should be good. That's pretty much my week, really.
Gazzy, anything you want to throw into the mix?
So I will be doing my regular work for MMORPG.com. So look out for my regular column, which comes out on Thursdays about early afternoon, about tea time. So 4 p.m. UK time. It's about lunchtime-ish for those of you in the States. I tend to leave what it's going to be about as a bit of a surprise, so you'll have to actually go there and read it if you want to find out, but I'll be showing all the details. I'll probably get some more streaming in once this new graphics card, this lovely new graphics card is installed. But that's pretty much it for me at the moment.
Okay then, folks, so...
You know, I love how he asks these questions but never answers them. You notice this trend, guys?
Yeah, what are you doing this week, Miz?
What are you doing this week? And before you go too far, yes, Marsh, you are a champion. And when you describe yourself in the darn show, and you mentioned champion and world firsts and stuff, and I'll let people go watch it and learn more about you. But anyway, go ahead, Martin.
Probably a lot of what I'm going to be doing is getting the rest of the studio set up. So we've just moved to MMOBuff offices. You're looking at part of it in the background. It's all rather fun, but the main place we'll be broadcasting from is still being set up.
What was that, Gazzy?
So far, so good.
Indeed.
So
and yes,
so good.
we
Wow.
still have the epic chair of epicness. Someone did comment on it. As the voice goes off microphone, the chair still exists. So we'll be doing that. We're going to be sorting out lighting and stuff over the next couple of weeks. But we'll have shows from just where you're seeing them with the sofa background for a little while yet. We might be able to squeeze some streaming in. Well, we shall see. Hopefully some fun things will happen. But on that note, I think it's time to decide to roll some credits, maybe come back, answer some questions, do some post-show for those that want to hang around. But final drum roll, have I survived? Do I need to go and interview people as press at Gamescom wearing green snazaroo?
Yes, because I'm going to make you anyway.
I can't tell
That
because
doesn't
literally
count.
Facebook is not loading for me at all.
Seaweed.
Pseudo.
I just opened a new packet of hot and spicy
Yummy.
seaweed. Oh
Yummy,
man,
yummy.
my tongue's on fire.
When you come round, Kaeyi, I'm going to demand that you bring hot and spicy seaweed with you.
Oh yes, I'll bring loads of bags. It's so good. Everyone buy it.
It's fabulous.
Yes.
Product placement.
And on that note, I guess I'll...
Yes. And to answer the channel, in fact, no, we'll do it in the post-show. So we're going to go all informal, be a little bit random. But before that, this was Cosmotronic. Goodbye from Gazimoff.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Kaeyi.
Bye.
It's probably a toodle pip coming from Pseudo.
Peace.
No, it
Just to
wasn't.
be contrary.
And
Toodle
this
pip.
is Mizpah for MMO Buff. Signing out. Thanks, folks. Catch you on the flip side.